All right, so we're at the BidCentral login screen, and so we're going to sign into BidCentral first and start with that, and we'll give you a walkthrough of the platform. So put your username and password in there, and that will take you in to the platform. If you don't have a username and password, there's a link there to register and create an account. All right, so we're at the dashboard. This is just going to show you some high-level information on projects you're following. So this is my calendar here for November. You can see in orange which ones are closing, which projects have site meetings. There's some more information here from BCCA updates, projects I've been invited to, opportunity matching. So this is a service that we offer that matches you with projects. So you can put in keywords for the types of projects you're looking for, and then we'll just send you projects that you've been matched with. So they'll show up in there, and it's the same for product matching. So manufacturers and suppliers, they can put the makes, the models, the brands and products that they work with, and then we will send you an email if those products have been spec'd into a project. And I'll show you how to set this up in a bit, but we also show it on the dashboard here. And then lastly, you've got the bid results of these projects that have closed and been awarded, and you can see who they've been awarded to. But most of what you'll be doing is in the project search. So if you hit projects and go into project search, this is where you'll go to actually find projects to bid on. If we leave everything as is and just hit search, you can see it just lists all the open projects right now. So we've got 349 open projects right now to bid on, more that get added daily. This time of year, things do seem to drop off a little bit, but we'll hopefully see a bit of a pickup in the new year. On the left-hand side, you've got your search filters. So you can search by keyword in here. So we'll just do, for example, if we do a search here for drywall, this just does a basic search for the keyword. It will search the project title and the project description. You can see we've found 5 projects. But what we're going to do now is tick this box here that says document search, and we're going to do a document search for the same keyword. This takes a bit longer, but we should hopefully get more results. And the reason for that is when you do a document search, what it does is it scans through all of the tender documents for any instance of the word drywall. So more often than not, drywall will be in the specs or in the documents, but it may not be in the project title or the project description, but it's quite a common keyword. So if you find you're not getting many project results when you do a search, make sure you do a document search. Now you can search for something, as basic as drywall, or if you're a manufacturer supplier, you could put your own makes, models, brands in there. You put your competitors' brands in there as well, and see if they're spec'd. You could even search for architects' names. If there's specific architects you've done work with in the past, you can put that in there. If it's in the documents, you can search for it. So you can see the search is finished now, and we found 38 results versus the 5 before with just the basic keyword. So that tells you, always do a document search if you want more results. All right, now in the search results here, you've got this column called keyword density. So this tells you the number of times the word drywall shows up in the documents. So obviously the higher the number, usually, the better the project might be. Let's just pick this one here. So a little tip here, I like to right click on the eyeball and just open it in a new tab. And the reason for that is then you can just have as many tabs open as you like, and you don't have to keep repeating that search over and over again. So this one here is on the island. It's in Qualicum Beach. It's a childcare centre. This project closes on December 3rd. You can submit your bid to tender@napit.com. So Napit's obviously the GC, and they're looking for subtrades here. And then there's a bit of description of what the project's all about. And drawing it. Now, if we jump into the project contacts, you can see who the owner is. So it's School District 69, and then who the GC is right there, and the specific contact as well. Now, if we go into the documents and addendas, you can see the tender document, the instructions, the scope of work, drawings, specifications, and you can download those individual files like so. Or you can hit download all and it'll download them all. But what I'm going to show you is another little tip here is if you do a search in here for the word drywall, this will actually scan the documents and it will tell you which files contain the word document, which contains the word drywall, and whereabouts in the documents it contains it. So if we expand that, you'll see it tells you right there, that's where it shows up within that file. And then you can just download those specific files if you like. And then hit cancel, and that'll take you back into the main file listing. Okay, now over on the right, you'll see the bidders tab. This is where you'll be able to see all the interested bidders on a project. So right now we've got a list of interested trade contractors. We've got even some manufacturers and suppliers in here as well. So if in this particular project, a GC has already been picked, it's Snap It. So this one's pretty easy. The trade contractors will list themselves in here, and there'll be no GCs because one's already been picked. So we kind of picked a bad project here. But if you're a trade contractor, this is where you go in and hit I'm interested, and it's going to ask you what your bidder type is, and you're going to select trade contractor. And then it's going to ask what contact information you want to be displayed. I want my contact information. I want people to call me. And then it's also going to ask you if you want to follow the project as well. You'll want that ticked so that if there's any addendas or changes or updates, then you'll be notified about it. So now you see that my company is now listed in here as an interested trade contractor. So this does a couple of things. One is it lets the general contractors know that you're interested in this project. The general contractors are always looking at this tab. They're always looking for sub-trades for their projects. So by going in here, you're saying, hey, I want to take part in this project. Give me a call and I'll send you pricing. And the second thing is it's also free advertising for your company. It helps get your name out there. So I always recommend if a project's even remotely relevant to what you do, always list yourself in there as a bidder. Now, imagine in here that we would have a list of interested general contractors as well. That's if you're a trade contractor, you'd be reaching out to those GCs and saying, hey, I see you're listed in here as general contractor. We do drywall, we do plumbing, we do flooring, whatever it is we do. We'd love to work with you. We can give you pricing for this project. Now, if you're a general contractor and you're bidding on this project, this is the perfect place to find your sub-trades. These are people that have already checked out the project. They already know they can do it. They've gone in and said, yeah, I want to do this project. So if you're looking for electric, you've got electric. If you've got, you're looking for drywall, there's drywall, flooring, sheet metal, it's all right there for you. So instead of having to spend time going out to your trade lists and reaching out to them to get bids, all we have to do is reach out to these companies because they've already checked it out and they're already interested in bidding on the project. And then the manufacturers and suppliers are also in here as well. Manufacturers and suppliers will connect with the TCs and the GCs, and then of course you can reach out to the manufacturers and suppliers as well, so you can get your pricing for supplies or what have you. So this page is really important. Again, to recap, if you're a general contractor, you're looking at this to find trades so that you can get their pricing so you can prepare your bid. If you're a trade contractor, you're using it as basically like a lead tool to figure out who the GCs that are bidding so that you can connect with them. And if you're a manufacturer supplier, then you're using it as more of a sales tool. Got a question here. Can you clarify the way Bob's section works? I will definitely get to Bob's in a little bit once we've wrapped up the plan room section. I'll touch on Bob's a little bit. Okay, so this is the bidders tab. Just going to pause here for a quick second because this is probably one of the more important areas of the platform. So kind of the process that you'd go through, again, if you're a trade contractor, you'd search for drywall, you'd find a project with drywall in it, you'd list yourself as an interested bidder, you'd go through and find, let's just find this project here. Let's pick a different one. And go to the bidders tab. And you've got interested general contractors right there. You give them a call and kind of do your pitch. Now, if you're a general contractor, you're going into the project, you're listing yourself as an interested GC, and then you're reaching out to the trade contractors that have gone in and declared their interest in the project. So I'm just going to pause here real quick and just see if there's any questions specifically about this process. This is kind of your daily ritual, basically. You'll be going through, finding new projects that have your scope in it, and then connecting with the people through the Bidders tab. We do have a question here that says, this course counts for 1 CPD point. Do we need to sign up? You've already registered for the webinar, and as long as you stick through it for the whole thing, then it's an eligible credit for a CPD. All right, so again, to kind of touch on that like ritual that you'll be going through, or that process, you go through and search for projects. When you follow a project, you can find those projects that you followed by changing it from all projects to my projects. So once you've gone through and you found a bunch of projects that have drywall in it, you can then go in here and change it to my projects, and this will show you a list of open projects that you're following. And so what I would do is not only look at new projects that have been added and reach out to those GCs, or if you're a GC, reach out to the trade contractor, but I would also go back to projects that are still open, but just check back in on them and see if there's any new companies that have been listed in the bidders tab, because that's where you're going to go to find the opportunities. And then we've got another question here that says, once submittals have been sent, does it automatically show who submitted in that bidders list? And then, of course, shows who it's awarded to. Yeah, good question. So once a project closes, so it will no longer show up under the stage of open. It will go either into closed, unofficial results, or awarded. So not every project is going to have the bidders information. We won't know exactly everyone that has been awarded the project. So in those cases, they'll show up under closed. But if we go to awarded and unofficial results, this will give us a list of all the projects that have been that are in unofficial results or awarded stage. So I'll show you an example here. If you click on this project and then go to the bidders tab, you can see the known bidders right here. There's 2. They're pretty close. You could probably figure out who was awarded that. But if you do have any doubts, you can always go to the project contacts, and you've got the contact there for that particular project. So that was the unofficial results stage. But if we pick this one, this one's been awarded. Let's have a look at this one. Go to the bidders tab. Under the awarded column, you'll see the value in there. So that company has been awarded that project, and that's the value. And again, to get to that, you'll go into the project search, and then under advanced search, you'll see stage, and then you'll set the awarded and unofficial results. All right, so the other stage we're going to go through now is the pre-bid project. So if you click on stage and go to pre-bid and then hit search, this will give you a list of all the projects that are in pre-bid stage, which means they've been announced, they're coming down the pipeline, they're not open for tender. They might never get posted for tender on BidCentral or any other plan room, but it's a good place to figure out, what's going to be coming down the pipeline, really. Got another question here. Can we see the winning bidders on recent projects? Yeah, so what I just showed you there, just go into the stage, set it to awarded, and hit search, and then it will give you a list of all the recently awarded projects. All right, so here's an example of a pre-bid. It's a new Costco development at Grandview area of South Surrey. I wish the island got another Costco, but we only have one here. Surrey's getting another one. It's not fair. So now if you look at the project, you can see the site address. You can see it's pre-bid, funding's private, and then there's a bit of a description of what the project's all about. If you go into the project contacts, you can see who the relevant contacts are at this project. Right now it's pretty early days, so I imagine there's not much there. Let's have a look at a different one here. Here's another one on the island. 2 6-story buildings with 122 unit housing complex. So this would be a typical example of a project that wouldn't normally get posted for tender on BidCentral or any other platform, but it gives you an idea that this is going to be happening, and it gives you the opportunity to participate in it at an early stage. So if you're a manufacturer supplier, this is a great way or a great time to get your product spec'd into the design. If you're a GC or a project manager or whatever, then it's a great way to get a jump on those projects early, get yourself pre-qualified. Got another question here. Could you show where pre-bids start again? I blinked and I missed it. Yeah, for sure. If you go, I'll start from the beginning, go to projects, project search. And then if you scroll down to the advanced search here and then go to stage, change the stage from open to pre-bid and then hit search. And then that will give you a list of all the open pre-bid projects. And yeah, so lots of projects in here, lots of opportunities. Some of these projects may come to fruition in 3 months. They may come to fruition in 3 years, but they're really good leads to chase after, depending on what your company does. So definitely check out those pre-bid opportunities. Now, if we go back into the project search, there's some other filters in here. You can search by date. So if you wanted to get a list of projects that were updated in the last 24 hours, you could just go from yesterday to today, and that will give you that. You can also drill down by classification of work, by owner type. Maybe you just do healthcare projects. You can filter just those. There's procurement type, funding type, so there's all sorts of different filters. If you find you get stuck and you're not getting any search results, you might have a filter stuck somewhere, so just hit clear all, and that's going to wipe you back to the default. And that's the project search for you. We're going to move on now from project search to going into your company profile. So in the top right-hand corner, you'll see your name. Click on your name, go to account. You can change your account information in here, such as your name. If you want to stop getting those nightly emails, you can opt out of them right there. You can change your password right there. But you'll see your company, and then you'll see this Edit Company Profile button. Go ahead and click that, and that'll take you into your company profile. You can change everything in here except one thing. That's your company name. For some reason, you can't do that. If you do need your company name changed, just shoot me a message, and I can do that for you. But spend some time, go through and update your company profile, make sure it's all up to date. This is what people are going to see when you click I'm interested on a project or when they look your company up in the directory. So you want to make sure it all looks good here. Section 2 is user information. So this is all the different logins. You can have unlimited logins in here. So if you've got other people that want to get in, you can just click add new user, put their name, email, title, and then hit save. And then they will get an email with a link to set up a password, and then they're in. You don't have to pay for additional licenses or seats. One price for unlimited users. Business categories. So you can go through and select whatever your business does. Clearly mine does everything, but you can narrow it down a bit if you like. If you're a manufacturer supplier, make sure this is checked, and I'll show you why in just a second. Go through and select your service regions. Keep going down. These ones really don't matter too much, but section 8 does. So now you can see, because I've got manufacturer supplier checked, I've got this box down here called product matching. And so this is the service that I mentioned before that lets you put in keywords for the types of products that you work with. So you can see I've got Moen, maybe I sell Moen faucets. So I want to know if Moen gets spec'd into a project. The guy down the street sells Delta faucets, so I want to know if Delta gets spec'd into it so that I can get my products listed as an alternate. So you can go in and just not only put your own makes and brands in there, but you can put your competitors in there as well. Now under matching keywords, you can see I've got keywords for the types of products I'm looking for. So go through, add keywords for whatever your company does, and then what our system does is it will scan through any new projects that have been added in the past 24 hours and any new addendas that have been uploaded in the past 24 hours, and we'll scan them all for those keywords, and then we'll send you an email with a list of projects you've been matched with. So it's kind of like your dating profile. You can go in and put your what you're looking for, and we'll let you know if you've been matched with anything. So take some time, go through, put those keywords in there, and hopefully you'll get some matches. Keep it, I would say, like as you can see, I've got pretty specific keywords in there. Don't just put construction because you're going to get everything. And you can put multiple words in there as well, like sheet metal, for example. Yeah, it's kind of a fine line. If you make it too generic, you're going to get everything, but if you make it too specific, you won't get a lot. So it's kind of a tweak. You got to go through and kind of tweak it. The next section here is the notifications and dashboard settings. If you're on the island like me and you don't want to get notified about projects outside of the island, you could just go through and uncheck these boxes, and so you'll only get notified about projects that are on the island. If you cover the whole province, great. Go through, make sure everything's checked, and you'll get everything. Got another question here. So if I put too many matching keywords, will it only send results that have all matching keywords? So what it does is it will search for concrete or concrete scanning or utilities or drywall or steel stud or so on. So it doesn't do and, it doesn't or. So it will keep searching for all those different keywords. So for example, like, I've got concrete in there, so I really don't need concrete scanning because if concrete's in there, it's going to get concrete scanning. So that kind of thing, you can go through and refine it a little bit. There's no limit to the number of keywords you can add, so you can add as many as you like. One keyword won't impact another one. So it's not like there's like negative keywords and things like that. So it will just do an or search. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, the last step here is section 10, which is your public directory profile. Take some time to go through and update this as well. Your business description, this is a good way of really kind of putting more keywords in to get your company to stand out a bit more. So, if someone searches for drywall and I've got drywall in here, then it's going to help my profile kind of rank higher in the search results. Social media links, don't forget to put those in if you want people to follow you. And don't forget to put your company logo in there as well. And lastly, all of these changes that you make, even in your keywords, even if they go green, they're not saved until you hit save down at the bottom. So once you hit save, then all those changes have been made. Now, one thing to keep in mind real quick is that if you do have multiple people in your account like this, any changes that you make in your company profile will also apply to them as well. So if I decide that I want to start doing electrical and I start putting electrical keywords in here, all of my colleagues will start getting notified about electrical projects as well. Just a heads up. So that's the company profile. Just going to pause there real quick and see if there's any questions. Perfect. All right, we're going to jump on now to the directory. So once you've made these changes to your company profile, they're all going to show up in the directory. You can get into the directory by going to directory.bidcentral.ca. I got another question here. Can we also look at recently issued permits on here? You betcha. Yeah, we're going to head there too. Right after we finish the directory, we'll head to the permit section. So the directory is useful for a couple of things. If you're a general contractor and you just won a big project in my little town called Brentwood Bay and you don't have any trades, this is a great way to go in and search for companies in Brentwood Bay. You'll see my humble little company in here, and if you log in with your plan room login, which is your BidCentral login, it will take you into this profile and you can see all the amazing work that this company does, and you can invite them to your project. So as a GC, it's a great tool to expand your trade list, get more competitive bids for your projects so that you can then bid more competitively to owners. So it's an easy way to hunt down new quality trades. Now, if you're a trade contractor, this is also a great tool to go through and search for general contractors. So if we go into the directory and hit browse, we'll set the business type in here to general contractor. And let's say we want to look in Victoria. This will give us a list of all the GCs that are in Victoria. And if we click on one of those companies, these guys have not updated their profile, so that's a bad example. Here's an example of a good one. They've got a great description, they've set their logo, they've got all their contact information in here, that's fantastic. And you can see the contact information of the relevant people at that company. So the directory is useful for trade contractors, manufacturers, suppliers as a sales tool as well to be able to connect with general contractors. And if we go back to the search results, you can see there's that the companies are all listed alphabetically, and all of the premium customers are listed first alphabetically, and then it will take it to the non-premium customers after that. You can also search by regions in here. You can search by company name or by keywords. So let's say I was looking for drywall. You can search and get a list of all the companies that do drywall. That company there. Also under the directory, you can browse Canadian companies with Canadian products. So with everything going on down south, we introduced this new feature where companies can go in and list themselves as suppliers of Canadian products. So if you're scoping out projects right now and you're looking for products, there's a list of great Canadian companies with great Canadian products. So check those out. If you are a Canadian company with Canadian products, you can also go into your profile. So if you get view my company or update your profile, you'll see this little checkbox here that says, are you a Canadian manufacturer supplier? Tick that, and then your company will show up in the list as well. You can see my favorite companies. So in the search, you can go through and follow companies, and then you can see a list of all the companies that you followed in here. You can also see who has followed you. So if you click that, this is a list of companies that have followed me. Again, it's kind of like the dating profile. You can see who's swiped right or swiped left or whatever it is on your profile, who you've matched with. And if you go back to view my company, you can edit your company profile, which will again take you back to the plan room where you can change everything except the company name. You can also change the logo here. If you're a manufacturer supplier, you can also update your product catalogs if you have one. That's the directory. Before I jump onto the permits, I'm just going to quickly touch on Bobs. So kind of high level, really quick, Bobs is BidCentral online bidding for subcontractors. So basically it's a tool that we have developed and a process that we've had in place that helps subtrades bid to GCs and kind of creates a fair, open and transparent process for subtrades to be able to participate in projects and submit bids. So if you click on Bobs up at the top, you'll see right now we've got one open project. The trades are mechanical and electrical. The project closes on December the 4th. So the process for submitting bids through Bobs is easy as clicking the Launch Bobs wizard and going through the step-by-step process, making sure you have a bond in the correct Bobs format, and then being able to bid to the different GCs that have applied to be part of that. We do have some resources for Bobs if it's your first time, so click on that. We've got some videos on how to use the wizard, the rules and procedures. There's a lot of resources there for that, so check those out. But that's Bobs. All right, now we're going to jump on to the permits. So if you click on permits up at the top, this is going to take you to app.permitsca.com. So PermitsCA is a tool that launched in October, and Basically, it's an aggregation of building and development permit data that you can use. It's actionable resources that you can use for your sales activities. So if you click login, it's going to take you to your plan room login. So you can log in here. If you're a part of BidCentral, which I hope you are, you can log in with your BidCentral login right there. And then that'll take you into the dashboard. The first time you log in, you're going to see this little welcome guide that says, hey, thanks for logging in. Step one is to go into your settings, so you can configure your settings. So we're going to go right there. You can also get to that by clicking on your name and go to settings. You can set your theme. If you like dark mode, you can put it into dark mode. You can change your sort order if you want to see newest to oldest, oldest to newest, or by project value. The default date range. You can also subscribe to the weekly permit bulletin and exclude single-family dwelling permits. That was a request that we've actually had recently. Some people just don't want to see single-family dwelling permits, so we've added this, and now it will exclude that from the search results. You can also go through and select your permit sources. So we've got a bunch of them in Alberta. You can go through and select individual ones or select all. You can also select within BC. Obviously, we have a much stronger presence here in BC, so we've got lots of permits in there. So you can go through and select them, or just click select all. We're going to be adding permits in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and even the some more Atlantic provinces in the very near future as well. So stay tuned for that. And then hit Save Settings. But we're going to go to the dashboard here. And the dashboard is going to show you kind of a high-level overview of permit information. So you can see permits issued by date, how many have been added this week, this month, how many permits have been added from companies I'm following, and just the number of companies I'm following. You can see a permit map here, which is kind of a visual of where we have all of our permits sources. So again, very strong on the West Coast, and you can click on the different dots and that will take you into the permits for that location. We introduced a new tool here that lets you go through and add permits to your watch list. So if we want to go, you can select, let's just pick Vancouver, for example. You can add that to your report, and then this will give you a trend, kind of a stock market ticker of permits by over the last 30 days, whether it's trending up or down. All right, so you probably want to go in and actually look at some permits. So let's go into the permit search. So on the left-hand side, you'll see permit search. Click on that, and that will take you into the permits. In here, you can search for permits. You can type in a keyword search, or you can go in and search if you just want commercial permits. You could just toggle that, and that will give you a list of commercial permits. If you want to exclude single-family dwelling, you can also do that right there, and that will just hide anything that's single family. Also on the advanced search here, if you click on that, that will take you to the advanced search here. You can search by location. If you want to get like a specific location, you could just search for that in there. You've got permit status. You can toggle between building permits, development permits, and also search by value too. One that I like to do under sort is set it to the value. See some of the high value permits, there's some pretty good ones in there. Let's just pick this one in Burnaby. What's this one? Okay, so this one was added November 13th. It was issued November 10th. You can see the value of it is 40.3 million. And the description here is a 14-story rental market tower and some underground parkades, 264 units. So this type of project typically wouldn't show up in BidCentral. So it's a really good lead here to know what's getting built, so that you can basically connect with the developer of this project. Now if we jump into the contacts tab, we just got a question from that and see who submitted the permit. So if you go into the contacts, you can see who the building contractor is here. So ADC Management. So you can search for this company on Google, and then that will give you some more information about them. You can also save this company. So anytime they get another permit issued, you can get notified about it. You can also browse permits from that company too, and see if there's any other permits that have been issued to them. So there's been 2 other ones. Now we have this tool here called Contact Scout, and so what this does is if you click this button, it will go and use our AI tools to find more information about that company. So this has actually already been run on this company, so we've already got the information here. You can see a summary about the business. You can see their website, their Better Business Bureau link. If you want to try and find some more information, you can rescout it, and basically it just goes out onto the web and tries to find more information about that company. No, just got their website and the Better Business Bureau profile. Now, if we go to Builders Copilot, this is another AI tool that we've got that has gone out and found more information about this permit. Again, this one has actually already been run. Someone's already ran it, the Copilot on this permit. So you can see in here that it's actually gone out and found who the developer is. We already knew that, but it's actually found who the architect is as well, IBI Group. It's found who owns the property, who manages the property, and a bunch more information here. So this is a really useful tool that basically goes out and uses our AI engine to find more information about the permit and then put it into a human readable format so that you can then action off of it. So definitely check out Copilot. I got a question here. Did you say we don't have access to it? You do have access to it. Yeah, if you have a BidCentral login, when you go to app.permitsca.com, just click, you'll see a BidCentral button on the right-hand side. Click on that, and then you can log in with your BidCentral username and password to access PermitsCA. If you've paid for BidCentral Premium, then you actually get PermitsCA as well for free. So it doesn't cost you anything else. So once you've found the permit you like, you could tag it as a lead. So click tag this lead, and then we're going to make this a high priority lead because it looks really good. Give these guys a tool about Drywall. And then hit save. So now you can see I've tagged this permit as a lead, and it's tagged here down on here as a high priority lead. You've also got some more options here. If you hate this permit and you never want to see it again, you can just click hide permit and that will go away. Or if you really like it and you want to share it with a friend, as I'm sure you want to do, you can share it with a friend by putting their email address in, and it will send the information via email. So that's how you search for permits. When you go into your settings and set your filters in here, so if we uncheck, for example, Alberta and then hit save, and then you go back into the permit search, it remembers what your settings are and then filters out any regions that aren't set. So if you just want to see BC, you can just do that. But you can also go into the advanced search and then go through and add those if you do want to. But by default, it remembers what your settings are. So that's the permit search. Now we're going to go into the company search. So let's say, for example, you're a trade contractor and over the years you've done a bunch of work with a general contractor and you want to see what they're up to. Maybe if they've been issued any new projects. So you go in here and just type in the name of the company, and that will do a search and see any permits that have been issued to that company. So you can see here this one got issued yesterday. 1.4 million for a multi-family project. So I'd give my buddies a call and say, hey, I see you working on this project in Calgary. We've got guys ready that can do the drywall for this project. So that's kind of how you'd use that. If you go into the report section, this will give you a rundown of the building permit trends by permit type, by status. This one I like. This is the average project value by region. So it gives you an idea of that, who some of the top contractors are that have been issued permits, some of the trending permits, that top viewed permits, and then top permits by location. So if you remember, I found a permit I liked and I tagged it as a high priority lead. So if you click on my leads, this will show you a list of all the permits that you've tagged, and you go through and drag them into different stages. You can untag them. You can view the permit. You can add a note. You can create tasks and set a date, and then hit save. And once you've created a task, that will show up under my tasks. So I give them a call, sell them a bunch of drywall, and then our mark it as done. Now if I click on my saved companies, you remember before it was ADC management was that permit. I went in and saved that company. So now you can just click in here and it will give you a list of any recent permits that have been issued to that company. So again, if you're a trade contractor and you've done a bunch of work in the past with specific GCs, go through, follow them, and then you'll get notified. They'll show up in here when permits have been added to that company. So that's a bit of a run through of PermitsCA. So again, a really good sales tool. Got a bunch of AI in the back end that goes through and enriches a lot of the information, goes out onto the web and does a bunch of the back end work for you, so you don't have to do as much legwork. It's all handled for you, and a great way to track your leads and manage them. This is all built in-house by the BCCA team. So we'd love your feedback if there's new features you'd like to see added, things you like about it, things you don't like about it. Please feel free to send them to me. We'd love to continue to evolve this product to be useful for you. That pretty much concludes what I wanted to show you today. We went through the plan room, search for projects, what to do once you find those projects, go into the bidders tab, list yourself as an interested bidder. The bidders list obviously is your lead list. Went through the directory. That's a really useful tool for salespeople or to grow your trade lists. And then we went through PermitsCA, searching for companies, searching for permits, going into your settings, and all that. So again, I'll show you real quick again. This is the login screen for PermitsCA. You'll see the BidCentral button right there. Just click on that and then log in with your BidCentral username and password.